Hello,
So
everyone. Yes, Sam. No, no.
it's been so long that you forgot that I normally do my little speaky into your intro and you just jump straight in. I think
Yeah.
we should keep that. I think we should keep that in.
Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Thomas podcast here today. Not a podcast. This is our Money in the Bank predictions, of course, when it's wrestling related. I'm here with John Cook. Sorry about the lack of uploads. As you can tell, I'm not in my regular location. I've been going through a bit of about going to the hospital regularly, which for stuff, which when the dust settles and everything's better, I'll tell you about. But it's nothing serious. I'm not dying, so we're all good. But it just meant that I couldn't make content. So yeah, John, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Mr. Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's on the verge of July, which is my favourite month of the year because it's Disability Pride Month. It's the month when we all celebrate me, um, and other disabled people, but they're less important. And yeah, so I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. Although I think I might have to go to the hospital myself because I suspect that I might be coming down with a case of money in the bank fever.
Yes, a very exciting Money in the Bank, of course, in London this year, your hometown. And timing for us in terms of tickets just did not go well. When tickets went on sale, we were in LA, so it kind of became impossible to book
Yeah,
tickets and get stuff sorted. And then they went like hotcakes anyway. So by the time we were
yeah.
back all settled, gone. So we just
I
missed
mean,
out.
I mean, okay, it's painful for Alex as a wrestling fan in Exeter. For context of how painful this is for me, it is one tube stop away from my house.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
It's a
Hey,
massive.
I get to sit and watch it properly
Yeah.
with food that isn't overpriced. Well, it might be Domino's, so it might still be overpriced. But
You get a good deal from Domino's if the
yeah,
time's right.
sit there in the comfort of my own home and take it in properly. Not got to slog all the way back home. Not got to sit next to Alex for 4 hours.
Yeah, I
You know,
suppose that's a good thing.
I mean, actually, you're quite lucky because with your illness, that might have buggered you right up, mightn't it?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, so you are actually very lucky that you did not
Yeah.
have a money in the bank ticket because
I still would
this
have
would have been
gone.
an
I
awful
still would have
weekend for
gone.
you.
I
This would have
still
been
would
an
have.
awful weekend for you. I'd have been sat, you'd have been watching it on your laptop or on TV, and I'd have been sat there in the arena with Sparky sat in a chair next to me.
I would have gone against doctor's orders and still probably gone.
You
But
would have
luckily,
run the risk of
yeah.
infecting
I know.
tens of thousands of people in
Again, you're
tens of
made.
thousands of members of the WWE universe, the
Yeah,
WWE family.
they're probably already infected with stuff anyway. But that's besides the point. Anyway, we're Money in the
Wow.
Bank. Yeah, I know, right? I'm coming out swinging today. But Money in the Bank card, 7 matches. Normally, this is kind of a similar number we get in the Triple H era. We're no longer in the 9, 10, 4 hour, 5 hour pay-per-views in the Vince era. What do you make of the card? 7 matches, UK crowd. Do you think they're going to be bang up for this?
I'm pretty pumped for it actually. I think I mean, obviously they've stacked it a little bit so that there's a fair bit of UK and Irish representation in there.
Yep.
So it's obviously, three. I think although it's a UK base, there is obviously a strong Irish contingent in the UK. So I think you've got at least 3 matches where there's a bit of a local interest, kind of like what they did with Clash at the Castle.
Yep.
I'm not I'm not gonna go into my predictions yet, but I think could be a happy night in some cases. Who knows?
Right.
No,
Well,
that's not me saying that Pete Dunne's going to win Money in the Bank, but
even though he probably should, because if they gave him a good character that wasn't Butch, he would be incredibly over. But let's get into the card and we'll slowly build up. We'll start with Cody Rhodes versus Dominic Mysterio. Probably the match that I care about the least because I can already tell you what's going to happen. My prediction is Dominic Mysterio wins because Brock Lesnar comes out and hits Cody Rhodes or something like that, and Dom gets a sneak victory. Um, yeah,
my
that's
prediction is that my prediction is that Dom wins, but um, it's not for the same reason. It's because Rhea gets involved.
Just think they're going to do the trilogy.
Rhea is absolutely smashing it at the moment. She's probably the best thing about WWE at the moment. Um, she's wearing the belt like it just belongs there, and she's really getting Dom the heat that he deserves. You know, it's the best out of his character. Yeah, I think Dom's going to win this. There will be shenanigans, but yeah, I just think the shenanigans are coming from a different place. I'm not sure that Lesnar's going to make the trip over just to do a 2-minute cameo.
It
I
depends how
hope
much.
he does. That'd be really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I just think the crowd would go nuts. But yeah, no, I think this is the easiest one to predict. I think it's on the face. It's in the world of WWE, it's easy that Cody Rhodes is the favorite, which of course in WWE terms means he's probably not winning. I also think it doesn't really make much sense. If you're not going to follow up on a story, you probably just put Cody Rhodes and Money in the Bank anyway. You can make him lose that again via shenanigans, and that would have been an interesting story. So I think, but Dom deserves the match because he is the most hated man in wrestling right now.
Yeah, as heels go, he's brilliant.
Of course, he did turn on his dad in the UK. I think it was at Clash, wasn't it? That I don't think he didn't hit Ray yet, did he? But he definitely turned heel at Clash against Edge.
That was the Ray and Edge thing, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yeah. We got the start of the heel turn at Clash. We got the start of the turn at Clash.
Yeah, so I think this will be a good match because I think Dominic Mysterio, contrary to popular belief, is actually a very good in-ring wrestler. I think these two are going to do a decent job. But a match now I couldn't care about, and I'm really sorry, but it's just because the outcomes are really obvious. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler taking on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. No, I really like Liv Morgan. I'm a big fan. I don't really mind Shayna Baszler. I don't mind Raquel Rodriguez. I don't like Ronda Rousey, but unfortunately, Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler ain't dropping those belts. Just ain't happening.
I'm a little bit disappointed that this isn't the title match that we got on SmackDown last week, because I think that actually in front of a UK crowd, I think that Rousey and Baszler against Isla Dawn and Alba Fire would have actually gone down really well.
Yeah.
And that's actually, I really like them as a tag team. I'm quite disappointed that, although they were inevitably going to, I'm quite disappointed that they lost that match.
Yeah.
It's like when the Iconics were around. It's a proper women's tag team, and there's nothing to do with the fact that it's two ladies with flame red hair, which kind of floats my boat a little bit. But yeah, this seems a bit obvious. But yeah, as much as I would love Raquel and Liv to win, and obviously they should be champions because it's only because of Liv's injury that they're not. This is probably going to be Baszler and Rousey. Don't get me wrong, I'd be a very happy man if it goes the other way. I still think that Shayna Baszler's absolutely wasted in the tag division. She should be out there fighting for singles titles. She's that good. Yep. I still think that Ronda Rousey should be nowhere near a bloody wrestling ring.
Agreed.
She makes me completely cold, but
which is a massive shame because Ronda Rousey, probably the biggest woman in combat sports history, or one of them.
Technically, she's an absolute talent, but she's got absolutely no rapport with the crowd. She's got no mic ability.
Yeah,
and she's shown, certainly over the last couple of years, she's shown nothing but disdain for professional wrestling.
Yep, absolutely.
So it's really hard to count. But yeah, she's got all the technical skills. But I mean, I'm going to say it, guys, because you've missed me and I've not said it for a while. If somebody's a bit of a cunt, it's really hard to get behind them.
Yeah, a little bit. Speaking of, somebody who we used to call that word, Matt Riddle is taking on Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. Apparently, this is according to Wikipedia. So if this is incorrect, then because I think I'm living in a multiverse where I don't remember this being a thing. But apparently it is. So we're going to quickly talk about this. Gunther wrestling on a show, yay. Matt Riddle wrestling on a show, yay. You put them together, double yay. Very exciting. But because I don't know what's happening, because there's no build up, Gunther's winning.
Yeah, it kind of caught me by surprise as well. Although I was thinking earlier, like Matt Riddle's not on this card, and I would expect Matt Riddle to be on this card.
Yep.
I'm very happy that they've added it. Um, Personally, for those that remember back to our Mania previews and our Mania review, I'm rather surprised that Gunther is not in the Money in the Bank match. I think he is a future, quite clearly a future main eventer. They seem to want to keep the IC title on him for a fair old while, which,
Yep.
fair enough. But Money in the Bank is generally speaking the opportunity for somebody to step up from the upper mid card to the main event, and this is an opportunity that Gunter Smith. It's kind of like he went coast to coast in the Royal Rumble, and nearly won the entire bloody thing, and it feels a bit like a step backwards.
Yeah, a little bit, but I'd also say that Gunther is. I don't think his character needs Money in the Bank. I think he's somebody that can go, "Hey, Seth Rollins or whoever, I'm going to challenge you for your title," and Seth Rollins will go, "All right, cool, you're a challenge," and
Yeah,
that's the fight. I don't think Gunther's character really suits Money in the Bank. I don't think he's a smarmy heel. I just think he's a big bastard that slaps people. That's that kind of sells your fight. You don't really need him looming over with a contract opportunity because we know he's going to get there. I also think if you
but
put him in
being a
Money in
big
the
bastard
Bank,
that's being a big bastard that slaps people can work with Money in the Bank.
oh, of course it can. But
You know,
I also,
look at
I
look at
also,
look at Lesnar, or
yeah,
to a
but
lesser extent Corbin.
yeah, but both of those decisions was stupid. Only because Lesnar joined the match right at the very end, and Baron Corbin is well, Baron Corbin. Um,
Yeah,
but
he's bossing it in it. He's bossing it.
yeah,
I really love that he's gone back to more of that kind of lone wolf character.
I agree. But it's just,
Yeah, I get that you don't like Baron Corbin, but don't forget you're not supposed to.
leaves leaves me cold, unfortunately. So next we're going to go to our Money in the Bank matches. I feel like the other two matches
Oh,
are our main events of the evening. So we will start with the men's Money in the Bank match, and that being Ricochet taking on Santos Escobar, Butch, Damian Priest, Logan Paul, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the one and only L.A. Knight, who of course is the most over person in this ring, and he's not winning it. Because unfortunately, the bottle of prime, the impulsive man, I think he's taken the W because I don't want him to. Not that you even dislike him that much anymore. He's done some shitty things, but I think he's redeemed himself kind of. But I just think it's such a Vince and WWE corporate decision to have him have the money in the bank wherever he goes, whenever he's selling this drink and doing podcasts, to have the money in the bank briefcase. But it should be LA Knight or Ricochet or Butch. Really, this is what I like. Before I get into I think it is Logan Paul. But before I talk about that more, I was like, this is what Money in the Bank should be. I think over previous years we've had established guys in the match, too many of them, and it kind of becomes obvious as to who's winning. Whereas this year you've got Shinsuke, but apart from that, nobody's really had that much success. I mean, Ricochet's had a few title opportunities and the US win here, an Intercontinental Championship for a couple months. But really, all these guys, this is a step up if they win the thing. Kind of. Except Logan Paul, because he gets title opportunities just for existing in Saudi Arabia. But
Yeah. I mean, no, I get what you're saying. I find it interesting because you named literally five guys there as potential winners, and you didn't name the guy that I'm going to pick.
you going Priest?
I'm going Priest.
Oh no. He's the only one that I really don't want to go anywhere near it.
Oh, I'm going Priest, an absolute beast.
Don't like Priest.
He's
Not
carried a single title before.
yeah.
Don't forget that. He was
US, right?
he was US champ. US champ. And I think he's ready to step up. And I think it, in terms of future storytelling, I think it takes us somewhere if Priest has got the money in the bank. You're right in terms of Shinsuke and Logan. They've had title opportunities before. I think maybe a couple of the other guys in there aren't ready yet. LA Knight would be a fantastic winner. Yeah, he's very over. But I think maybe WWE might feel that he needs a little more time to pay a few more dues before
Yeah.
they do that to him. Priest, knocking around for a couple of years. And I think in terms of storyline purposes, I think there's places they can go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Priest is one of those. I know he has a lot of fans, and I don't think he's bad by any means, but he just doesn't do much for me. I don't.
Mm.
I don't know what it is. I think out of all I think it's a really uninteresting choice. I
Yeah,
get,
yeah, but don't forget he is a very Vince guy.
yeah, of course he is.
He's a massive guy.
It's a smart decision for the predictions. Don't get me wrong. I think you is a good chance he wins it. I'm just not interested. And before I think Priest is fine, and I think that obviously they're setting up this angle with him and Balor, and Priest being like, "No, I want to fight on my own. I don't need you."
This is the thing
But
I think, and
but
this is why I'd also go for Dom to win earlier today because I can see a Judgment Day split
which
where
they
sort of
shouldn't do.
Dom and Rhea are off doing their own thing, and say you've Dom getting a big pay-per-view win under his belt is going to do him a favor.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't. I can't. I can see it happening, but I don't want it to. That's just me. It's just me.
It's because he's Puerto Rican, isn't it?
Mate, no,
I thought you were going to say maybe then for a second.
no, um, no.
What?
I don't know, but I think this could steal the show.
I mean, you've got guys like Escobar
Yeah,
and Ricochet in there. They can fly, and
they can fly.
you're going to have some great spots in there.
Logan Paul's going to do something
Crowd's going to go
stupid.
absolutely wild for it. You're probably going to get a bit where Pete Dunne nearly wins it and then doesn't.
Yeah, he should win it. He should. That pop would be insane.
It's But yeah, it could steal the show, but I think there's 2 or 3 matches that could.
Absolutely. And one that could is Zelina Vega versus Becky Lynch versus Zoe Stark versus Bailey versus Io Sky versus Trish Stratus. Now, this Money in the Bank ladder match is a bit interesting because we've only got 2 tag teams in here and 2 singles competitors. So we've got Zelina Vega and Becky Lynch, of course, kind of on their own. I mean, Zelina Vega is part of LWO, but I really don't see them getting involved in a women's contest. And Becky Lynch is sort of on her own. And you got Zoe Stark and Trish Stratus, and of course, Bailey and Io Sky. And we know that they're going to do the thing which we do in Money in the Bank ladder matches and Royal Rumbles, where they're going to team up for a bit, then they're going to try and go for the briefcase and go, whoa, 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 what are you doing? Oh, you can't be doing that. That's my briefcase. How dare you? I don't know who's going to win this, mate. This one I'm really torn on. I'm between 2 people. That is Io Sky or Trish Stratus, but I can't tell you which one I want to go for. I think Io Sky would be a great winner because I think that she's skyrocketed since it was Backlash, wasn't it? When she faced Bianca, yeah. She was great in
Yeah,
that match, and the crowd loved her. And
yeah.
Since then, they've kind of done a bit more with her. But also, Trish Stratus with the Money in the Bank and this character could really work. But also, she's got a few with Becky Lynch, so I don't know whether it would work. It would kind of just distract from the fact that she's feuding with Becky. So I'll go Io Sky for an upset here. I think that would be a really good choice.
I'm torn between 2 as well. For me, it's Io Sky or Trish Strat, or Becky Lynch. Rather, for me, it's Io Sky or Becky Lynch. I
Ooh.
think I think Becky comes close. I think Trish and Zoe cost her the match, and I think Io wins it, which gives you a very interesting dynamic between Io and Bailey. It does what Priest winning the men's would do for Damage Control.
Yeah.
I think Becky winning it would send the crowd home happy.
Indeed.
But then I think Io winning it would send the crowd home happy as well. Actually.
Agreed.
So yeah, I think we might actually agree on this one. I'm going Io Sky. I'm not even entirely sure what Trish Stratus is doing in this match other than to disrupt Becky Lynch.
I don't know either, but I'm happy that she's doing a sort of
Yeah,
not
I mean, I'm
long
happy that
term stint
I'm
ish.
I'm 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 happy that she's there. I just it's kind of that thing like Money in the Bank isn't really the place to stick a legend in.
But I suppose you don't do it often, so you can do it once, and
Yeah,
I think it's fine once in a while, and I think you can kind of get away with maybe they've done it in the men's one with Shinsuke. I mean, obviously not
you
the
know,
same level in terms of WWE legend, but wrestling legend Shinsuke Nakamura is certainly one of them.
if you're gonna stick a women's legend into the Money in the Bank match, then you do it with Lita. You don't do it with Trish.
Yeah, but I could. This is my point. I could see Lita coming back at Money in the Bank because
Yeah,
obviously,
Lita actually coming out and see. This is why Becky might do it because it could actually be a thing where it comes down to Trish and Becky, and then Lita comes out and
yeah.
kicks Sensei to shades the shit out of her.
And then do we get Lita versus Trish at SummerSlam? That would be a throwback. I mean,
I love how your Exeter actually SummerSlam.
yeah.
Do we get Lita versus Trish at SummerSlam? By the
It's,
Combine Harvester.
it's where the Exeter accent comes out as well, but it did then. But yeah, that would be a throwback, wouldn't it? No, I don't know. Yeah, Io Sky for me, I think we smart choice. But let's get into
Yeah,
our
I
two.
think that's that. If this is booked well, I think that's where this goes.
Let's get into our two technical main events then. We'll go with Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor next. The reason I call this a main event is because it's for the new World Heavyweight Championship, and the World Heavyweight Championship should be treated like a main event
Yeah,
because right now nobody cares about it. In terms apart in the same breath as the Roman Reigns Universal title, it is still seen as a secondary title.
I think
And
people are saying, well, the more it's defended, people will care more about it.
that's what I mean.
So
Uh,
that's the thing. It's he's literally had it for like a month.
exactly.
Say that the more it's defended, people will care more about it.
Exactly. Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. This is going to be a great match. I mean, it's going to be great, but there's no chance Finn wins this. Not a chance.
These two guys can go. I think this could be match of the night.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Seth,
I think there is a chance that Finn wins this.
you think the Bloodline are doing a sweep?
I think there is a chance that Finn wins this, but I think that if he does, it could be very brief, like in terms of minutes.
Oh, you think I'm on? Oh no! Don't do Balor to Priest. No, that would suck. I don't want Damian Priest as my world heavyweight champion. No.
If it happens, remember you heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first because no other cunt's actually stupid enough to predict this.
No, I don't like that. I don't, John. No, I don't like that.
I just
If
want it to happen even more now that I know you don't like it.
if that happens, I'm turning off the show. Um, and I'll be happy I didn't get a ticket. But yeah, I think it'd be a fun match. There's not really much more to say about it. The story's been fine. They've kind of just gone for we fought last time. Finn's rightfully gone. I was screwed out of my last championship match with you. I never got a rematch. You injured me, you bastard. And that's kind of all the story you need.
It kind of is, except for the fact that Finn got a match against Roman about 18 months ago, and the whole thing was I never got a rematch when I lost the title. So he has had
Yeah,
his rematch against Roman, and he lost.
yeah, but Roman's like Mecha Roman right now. Like he's
Yeah, I know, but he cannot technically say I never had my rematch. You know,
it's
that's
wrestling.
an argument you only get to use once, isn't it?
It's wrestling, John.
I
If
know, but what I'm saying is it's an argument you only get to use once.
if we start looking at
Yeah,
wrestling from the lens of reality,
I haven't had my rematch. Well, you had a match against him when he had the belt. It's like, well, yeah, that doesn't count because it wasn't against you. Like, well,
yeah,
why did you turn around to him and say you haven't had a rematch then if it wouldn't count as a rematch?
because he lost, isn't it?
You know,
Yeah. And our main event, and I'm sure this will be the main event, which is being dubbed the Bloodline Civil War Tag Team Match. Roman Reigns and Solo taking on the Usos. Um, I genuinely can't predict this because every time I've predicted against Roman Reigns, I've looked like an idiot. Um, and of course, Solo's in there, and Solo could take the pin, but Solo could easily also turn on Roman Reigns. Um, or they just demolish the Usos and Bloodline remains strong. You also have to remember that Roman is technically still your reigning, defending, Universal Champion. So they're probably not going to let him take a pin. So there's a lot going on here, John, and I don't really know which way to go. Are you more clued up? Have you got a better idea than me?
I mean, for me, Solo's somebody else that should be in MICB, actually.
But this match is gonna be
He should be in the Money in the
sick.
Bank match.
But this match is gonna be good.
Oh, it is, but it's another case where it's like you got Logan Paul in there and Solo Sikoa's not, and like he's literally at this event.
Yeah.
It's going to be a very good match. I'm going for the Usos mainly because it sets us up for SummerSlam, where I think we get Roman versus Jay.
That would be a great match. But I'm gonna go with Roman. Your tribal chief is going to take the win through shenanigans.
I just can't wait to hear him say, "London, acknowledge me."
And they all go, fuck off.
I'm sort of counting you, mate.
Yeah. No, but I'm gonna go Roman just because every time in the predictions, every time I go against Roman, I've looked like an idiot. So I'm gonna go Roman, in the hopes that he does win, which means he won't this time. The one thing that is a bit gutting for me, I know they are facing Pretty Deadly the night before on SmackDown. Again, we are filming this on Thursday, as you know that because it's going out Friday evening in the UK. But so we haven't seen SmackDown yet. But obviously, Sammy and Kev aren't on. Well, they might make an appearance at Money in the Bank, but technically they're not on Money in the Bank, which I think is a bit of a shame. Because that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens pop would have been huge if they were on the show.
Yeah,
but you can't fit everyone on. So
and it's a bit weird that they're taking on two British guys the night before, but then again, SmackDown is also in the UK, so they've got a sort of they've got to do it, I guess, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'm gonna go Roman. You've gone with the Usos. That kind of wraps up our predictions for this video. Of course, me and John will be back tomorrow with our review. Did Money in the Bank suck? Probably not. They'd have to do a lot wrong to make it suck. So let's hope they don't mess it up. The first big pay-per-view in the UK, or in England, you can kind of call it, because that's what they're doing. They're going in England, even though they had it in Wales about like 2 hours away. But it's fine. It's fine. This is the first big major pay-per-view in the UK in ages. So yeah, it's a weird thing.
Yeah,
WWE,
I'm pleased that you said. I'm pleased that you said in ages. I was going to be like SummerSlam '92, but
yeah. I like the fact they still call Newcastle an old mining town, which is just, you could tell that Vince has got his fact book out and gone, the old mining town of Newcastle.
I mean, technically not wrong.
No, it's just one of those weird WWE-isms, isn't it?
I mean, you've got to go back maybe 40 years now. Thank you, Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
But
it's like whenever they go to Canada and they go, it's like whenever they go to Canada and they're like, the fans here are so weird. They boo who you're meant to cheer. They cheer who you're meant to boo. And it's like, no, they just don't care about the people that you try and shove down our throats as faces. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow with a review. So stay tuned. That'll be out late though, because obviously the show wraps up late. So as soon as we're done, I'll get it uploaded and posted and all that. So yes. But you'll see us soon. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you soon. Tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Don't have nightmares. Do sleep well. Good night. God bless. Acknowledge me.